very much for the invitation to be here. I have to say it is so heartwarming to hear the speakers that we have had the joy of hearing this morning. You know, it's a real gift to have a downtown you can love, and you obviously do. I also want to thank, the previous speaker, because I don't know who Bad Bunny is either. And I want to note that my 5-year-old son has finally found his identity vis-a-vis his bigger brother because he loves basketball and his brother doesn't. Anyway, this said, I also want to thank Michael for not only the great words and the leadership he's brought to his words today, and leadership he's brought to this organization, but he helped me find my real message. When he talks about the fact that downtown cannot be a destination of obligation, but must be a destination of choice, he could substitute region. He could substitute Sacramento. And I would say there is no place more important to making a region a destination of choice than it's downtown. In fact, I can't think of a region in this country that is more successful than its downtown. And that will be more important going forward. So, to launch in here, the pandemic didn't launch hybrid work. It was a wake-up call. In fact, net absorption of office space in this country has been declining for more than 20 years. It's down by more than 50% really since the year 2000, because hybrid work is a long-term fundamental trend that is due to far more than the pandemic. The pandemic woke us up. And unfortunately, we're in for a long wake-up. I don't think the return to work will not be what it was, and is going to take a while to reach whatever it will be. But what the pandemic also did was shine a bright light on the new era of downtown opportunity. And you know, what I'm really here to talk about is resilience and adaptation. Downtowns have had to have been resilient, have had to adapt repeatedly, even since 1950. This is another very difficult, painful, but important period of adaptation. And you know, thank goodness that you have a robust downtown partnership, because the downtowns that are making this transition most successfully and most quickly are those with robust downtown partnerships. Your support is, every one of you does have a role in this new future. So I'm going to start with the sort of the new norm 101, and think of what I'm talking about as sort of foundational material that explains why some of the things that my preceding speakers have talked about are so important. And I'm going to start with our economy. We're not having as many kids as we used to. Our workforce growth has been shrinking. It's now less than 50% of what it was in 2010. In 2040, we will add fewer net new workers than we did in 2010. At the same time, 90+% of net new jobs, that's job creation, that's economic growth, require some education, some higher education, 2 years, preferably even 4 years. A majority of manufacturing jobs today require some higher education. This was true as of last year. Slowing workforce growth, strong concentration of worker requirements with folks who have a strong education. Surprise, surprise, we have a fundamental shortage and an accelerating shortage of knowledge industry workers. 90% of net new jobs in our knowledge economy means 90% of our economic growth is in our knowledge economy. Every city and region in this country is competing for this workforce. And what is most important in where they choose to live and work, to have their economic lives? A vibrant, vital, walkable, mixed-use downtown. And not unrelated to the slowing growth in our workforce is a dramatic demographic shift. So that, and I'm going to just speak in headlines here, over the next 20 years and beyond, not 80%, 81% of net new households will be singles and couples without kids. There are other issues related to this, and I love kids, but this is the most, net new households are our housing market, our housing economy. Our housing economy is 2/3 of our real estate economy. Where people want to live is where real estate investment goes. Today and for the next 20 years, this is not a blip. This is the new norm. We have an unprecedented demand from the housing market to live downtown, to live in mixed-use walkable places, I should say. Nobody does that job as well as a downtown. At the same time, 60+% of our housing supply is single-family detached. That's another question in terms of demand, but and markets going forward. What that means is that every region, including Sacramento, Sacramento. I grew up in Los Angeles. Sacramento I wouldn't say serious, this is about opportunity, has a significant opportunity. I would say unlimited for the foreseeable future market for downtown multifamily housing, driven by the amenity of downtown, the access to jobs. Think thousands and thousands of downtown public employees, state employees. Like me, they're growing older too. They're having fewer kids. That alone is a remarkable downtown market to unlock. And thank goodness that you've got a robust downtown partnership really working on how to do that. I want to emphasize that the importance of downtown is not just about our economy and our real estate, about economic development and our real estate economy. The same trends that make downtown so important from that perspective are reinforced by mobility, I call them disruptions. Some of you may have heard about autonomous mobility. Well, it is happening. Think of it as gravity. It's primarily going to take the form of shared autonomous mobility. It'll be much less expensive, which will thrive in and actually subsidize living in mixed-use, dense locations like a downtown that have a critical mass of trips and destinations. From an environmental standpoint, and whether we suffer the immediate impacts of climate change or not, and actually I think you do in many ways. I didn't realize you have this, following New Orleans, you have the second most levees in the US. Nothing contributes more to environmental responsibility than growing in and up as opposed to out. So with this confluence in mind, how do we really grow our regional economies, grow our city economies, and grow our downtown economy? It starts with innovation. It starts with the companies that are generating the ideas that then attract technology and life science and the other elements of our knowledge economy that really are producing job growth and economic growth. These industries really follow where are creative folks and smart folks going. Jobs and investment follow folks, follow educated workforce these days and creative workforce, not the other way around. So how do we unlock this opportunity? Well, it starts with, as I mentioned, innovation, but innovation starts with attracting talent. And I want to come back to the fact that no region is going to attract the scarce talent that it needs, let alone the city and downtown, without a really lively, vibrant, mixed-use, walkable downtown. This is what draws folks. And believe me, if you've got a good education, you have choice. Therefore, you must be a downtown or regional choice. And over the next couple of decades, our shortage, knowledge economy workforce shortage is going to grow by about 40%. This will increase the importance of downtown to its regions because, again, every region in this country is competing for these folks. And how does it compete? It competes by being a 5-minute downtown, a place where you can work, live, shop, play, enjoy culture, cool music, that wonderful restaurant we heard about, Cesar Chavez Square or Park or whatever it might be. And I have to say, I'm one of the kids who grew up not eating green grapes years ago. Within 5 minutes, that's how far most of us will actually walk. We claim it's a little bit more, without a real destination in mind. And downtown is the place that can offer this 5-minute world. What this 5-minute world in turn does, it attracts talent, but it also unlocks the ability for something called creative collisions. Creative collisions are unplanned meetings. You cannot have an unplanned Zoom call no matter how hard you try. Unplanned meetings, generally between people who work from different companies, where the ideas that generate innovation are born. We do a lot of work with innovation districts, and what do they care most about in a world of hybrid work? They can hire folks from Singapore or Seattle in Sacramento, but they actually, more than ever, want that workforce living within 5 minutes of where they work, so they'll show up at work, but more importantly, so they'll have creative collisions. They'll run into each other. They'll generate the ideas that fuel our economy today. And again, think the power of downtown, the unique power of downtown. So why do we start with housing? Headline, roughly 1,000 net new units, housing units, mixed income, are enough to attract, not fully support, attract the retailers, primarily think food, beer, coffee, and then maybe something to buy, to bring a block of Main Street to life. When you bring that block of Main Street to life, then people want to live, work. It's a virtuous cycle. Really want to live, work, play, whatever they can do downtown. It is the life on the street that brings people. And believe me, we don't walk. It's important to have trees and nice paving, but we really walk because we want to go grab a beer and meet a friend, and we need a place to do that. So what we really have to start with is unlocking, and remember, the market is knocking at downtown's door. The market for multifamily housing and mixed-use walkable places knocking at the door, trying to say, let us in, find the subsidies we're going to need, the support, create more of those, I've forgotten, dreamers who want to start great new businesses. I love that phrase, and that, even though I can't remember it in that program. That is what really brings downtown and therefore a region to life in our economy. It starts with housing, the critical mass of people, 1,000 net new housing units who support caffeine, caffeine, beer, and then shopping, attract talent, promote creative collisions, launch economic growth, opportunity, and the cycle continues. So, 2 more benefits. Housing in mixed-use walkable places, and again, think downtown. Remember, 2/3 of our real estate economy, 2/3 of our urban tax base, et cetera, pays considerable premiums. I lost my sentence here. Mixed-use walkable places carry considerable premiums. This is national data. More than 30% for sale housing, more than 40% for multifamily rents. That is a tremendous value premium that can be tapped to pay for affordable housing, parks, schools, the public goods we need. Downtown investing in downtown can create more, does create more value than investing any other place in a region when it comes to 2/3 of our real estate economy. And go right back to then, so why amenitize downtown? But also, and I think Michael touched upon this, this is San Francisco data. The closer we live to where we work, the more likely we are to show up. And in fact, in San Francisco, folks who live within 2 miles of where they work, if they work downtown, are back in the office to a higher degree than they were when the pandemic hit. And that's something to really stop and think about in terms of what we can unlock for our regions and our economy by creating a lot of downtown housing. And you're out there doing it and doing a great job. But full stop, because I hope none of you have realized, but it's true, that what I've said is very elitist so far. And we have a much larger society than folks who got good educations and went to Sacramento State, et cetera. There are a lot of folks who are being left out of our new economy, and it's very important to bring them in part because when I talk about it's actually a developed worldwide shortage of talent, of educated workforce, it's a zero-sum game. We're all competing with each other. We have to grow our own talent also. And that means not just creating jobs, but really robust workforce readiness, bringing people into the workforce. If you're a single parent, great daycare, and somebody's been in jail, curing that record, so that we have more talent. They'll attract jobs and investment just as much as somebody who went to Sacramento State in the first place if we can get them there. But that also means that we are unlocking the opportunity we're creating downtown and bringing it to the benefit of all of Sacramento. And that's also critical, frankly, when you want folks to vote for dollars for downtown. And of course, housing for everyone, regardless of income, but also age, ethnicity, and all the things that bring us together. When I talk about slowing workforce growth, our workforce would actually be shrinking. We would be Japan without immigration. Being a diverse region is a secret weapon when it comes to growing a workforce. So I'm going to sort of finish with some things to think about to check off. It all starts with walkability, but walkability has to be real. Without that 1,000 new additional housing units, you're not going to have the restaurants and invite people to walk. So start with getting density right and bringing those dreamers to start new businesses. Connectivity, which means places like the arena that make downtown central to the lives of everyone in Sacramento, everyone in the region. A public realm in downtown that means 2 kids can play quietly and thousands of you can gather and celebrate when the Kings win. And authenticity. And authenticity is not about looking like Sacramento did during the Gold Rush. It's about bringing the living culture of Sacramento today into downtown, affordable artist housing, et cetera. This is a parking garage outside Denver that was a very dull place to walk by until I think they spent more money on banners than what they spent to put artists in the ground floor, 1 bay of parking, and now 25,000 people come every Friday to see those galleries and spend money in local restaurants, and they want to live nearby. This is a great big development in Tampa where the developer is wise enough to say, if we can get the best chefs, the best makers, the best artists here, this place will always be of value, not just when it's brand new. And of course, give everybody a face. We all have something to contribute. Let's make sure we have the opportunity. So I'm going to finish where Michael didn't quite start but finished. The things he talked about, I want to note are, first of all, as he said, all of our responsibility, but whether it's open space, arts, academic and research, our new economy, housing, clean and safe, they all require each other, and they're all easier to achieve if we're achieving the other 4, if that makes sense. So on that note, I'm glad you're all on the same page, and thanks so much for the invitation to be here. Thank you.